We are now talking to North Carolina A&T power forward recruit Duncan Powell. What's going on, Duncan?
What's good with you?
Ah, man. Well, I've been watching clips all over the internet about you, man. I mean, you're a fantastic player, man.
Thank you.
You really are, man. You know what I love about basketball is you get to see the growth of some of you guys. I played basketball when I was a kid. I actually watched Sebastian Talafier play high school basketball. Scored over 100 points in his high school game. I knew Stephon Marbury. I played street ball with him. I knew Kenny Anderson, he was from Brooklyn and played over. Well, he's from New Jersey, but played in Brooklyn. Over there by Lincoln. So, I had the opportunity to watch these guys grow and became, pretty good NBA players. So, how are you and your family doing right now with this pandemic?
Everybody's good. No complaints. We're staying blessed, so everything's good right now.
So, what made you decide? I'm sure there were other teams recruiting you. What made you decide to go to North Carolina A&T?
Well, I mean, first, my cousin Adrian Powell, he went there in 2013 when they went to the NCAA tournament, and then so watching him play and him being a role model in my life, and then as well as Coach Jones and Coach Dorsett building a great relationship with them. So it was an easy choice at the end of the day.
Yeah, one of the offers you actually got was from Arkansas, which the SEC is rising a lot in basketball. Eric Musselman's a very good coach. And
Right.
Was it tough to turn down a decision like that, or was there something specific with or personal with North Carolina A&T?
Well, I mean, technically, I didn't turn it down. I was actually committed to Arkansas, so it. I mean, that shows you how highly I thought of them, and like you said, the SEC. But I took back and decommitted and just thought about it, and I just felt like North Carolina A&T was a place for me. So, I mean, it's all about your fit. So that's really what I chose A&T for.
We are talking to North Carolina A&T power forward recruit Duncan Powell. Now, Duncan, I've watched basketball for years. I grew up a Knicks fan, which when the Knicks were actually good in the '90s, when Patrick Ewing and John Starks, when they were a good defensive team, when Pat Riley was running the organization, when he was the head coach of the team. So when you look at your game, is there a particular player that's playing college ball right now or that's in the NBA that you can compare and contrast your style of game to?
That's a great question. Firstly, I always tell people Jesus Shuttlesworth. I don't know if you seen he
Of
got game,
course, of course.
but
Come on, man.
Jesus Shuttlesworth. That's I feel like he matches my swag. On and off the court. But someone that's actively playing right now, I say a lot of people compare me to Kawhi or Michael Beasley when he was at Kansas State.
Really? If you're Kawhi Leonard, man, you'll be a fantastic NBA player. So you're a good defensive player.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, two-way basketball is very, very important, especially if you want to play in the NBA. So that's very, very important.
So, is there any other college standouts, either your time watching or, again, just recently getting recruited? Is there any other college basketball standouts that you model your game around? Because there's a lot of good power forwards, forward type players in college basketball right now and have been for quite a while.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, I wouldn't allow myself to look at another person. A lot of the college players are around the same age as me, so I'm looking at them to dominate them. So I don't. I might watch film to see how I can be better than them, but there's no one in college for sure that I model my game after in any type of way. But I watch some college ball. I see who does what. That's my best way to answer that question. I mean, I can't model my game after anybody I might play against.
Now, Duncan, you look at all the attention Bronny Jr. is getting. LeBron James's son and Dwayne Wade's son is getting, and you look at players like you, they don't really get as much love because I go on YouTube and the first thing that pops up when I'm looking at high school basketball, the first thing that pops up is LeBron James's son, Dwayne Wade's son, this kid Williams, who's going to be a top prospect in about 2 years, 16-year-old kids. Does it bother you that because these NBA players' sons are really the centerfold, the center of attraction right now for college basketball and the NBA, does it bother you that you don't get the attention that you deserve?
Nah, I mean, yes and no. Back a couple of years ago, it did, but I'm getting it out the mud. Like I say, I know I'd give them all the business in a real game. Like, It's just hype. The media does their job. Of course, they're gonna want to record and promote an NBA player's son or a hyped up player. But at the end of the day, the only ranking that matters, the only hype that matters is the NBA draft board. So that's what my eyes is on, and I know I'm better than any person you could look up on YouTube. So I'm not really worried about that.
Do you think the NBA and basketball in general makes it a lot easier for guys from smaller schools to really make a difference? We see Damian Lillard from Weber State. We see CJ McCollum, his teammate from Lehigh. Just guys like that really show off because, again, the big schools are going to get their guys, but not all of them pan out in the NBA because they don't get as many touches to really grow their game. Do you think that is the case and maybe why a lot of these guys choose these smaller schools?
I can't speak for other people, but for myself, I know it's all about finding the right fit. John Morant went to Murray State and was killing. So, if you find a school you go to, you could go to Dallas Community College, and you could go to. There's someone that is going to the league this year out of JUCO, out of Logan Community College. So, I mean, it's all about the right fit and where you go. So, to answer your question, yes, it's not really where you go; it's what you do when you get there.
We are talking to North Carolina A&T power forward recruit Duncan Powell. Now, Duncan, I don't know where you got your name. Maybe you were named after Tim Duncan. I don't know. I mean, I've heard crazier things. But the power forward position is a very interesting position, and the game has transitioned. And the power forward now is, the power forward is the center, or the center is now the power forward, or the center is now the three. I mean, the positions now, they start to play smaller now. The NBA, they're playing smaller guys. It's not the bigger guys. So in your style of game and what you do good, could you compete in the speed game going up and down the court? Or are you more content on the way you play the old-fashioned way where you control the board, you control your game inside the paint?
Yeah, I mean that's a great question, but power forward, the four-man, it's just a number they just put me in, so you have to put me in something. I mean, I don't really have a position in basketball. I'm more of just a basketball player that helps his team win. So that's an easy question to answer. I mean, I can play in any tempo, any style of ball because I'm a basketball player. I'm not a power forward. I'm not a four-man. I'm not a three-man. So I'm just a basketball player. I can play 1 through 5, guard 1 through 5. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter with me. I'll play in whatever position, whatever type of tempo. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna dominate and affect the game in positive ways.
Do you think that trend will ever revert back where you see the NBA get back to being big again? Because we're also seeing a lot of big men, too, whether they're small forwards or power forwards as they're labeled, be able to pass and shoot effectively now. Could you see it where it goes back to having these 7-footers run the league, not as much with the guard play like we saw in the past this decade?
Actually, yes. The NBA is looking a lot at 6'10" and up, just running their offense through that. A mobile 6'10" stretch forward where they can play everything. So yeah, I do see the league becoming overall bigger in the next couple years, but we'll see. You never know what's gonna happen.
Duncan, when you look at the NBA and a lot of these kids, they come from very poor families. They come from really bad areas of the country. They grow up. Some of them grow up not wearing the same sneakers for about 5 years. Rip sneakers, rip rubber, and I believe the NBA really screwed some of these kids because I believe if you think that your game is good enough to go to the NBA, LeBron James did, Kobe Bryant did, Kevin Garnett did. Then you should be allowed to. Do you like that the NBA is thinking about bringing back the opportunity that you can go right out of high school to the NBA, or do you think that going overseas or playing college basketball or playing in the G League before you get drafted makes you a better player and gives you a better opportunity to succeed in the NBA?
I mean, that's an excellent question. I can't wait to answer this. I mean, if you look at every other profession, even athletics, baseball, hockey, tennis, if a kid is 12 years old is a genius, what they're not going to stop him from going to college at 12. They're not going to stop him from becoming a doctor at the age of 18. So it's only fair and right for them to allow a player who's trying to provide for his family to go to the NBA out of high school. I mean, it doesn't really make sense why they don't allow it. it has to be a deeper reason that I don't know about, but it just seems like with the NFL, well, I mean, the NFL is a little different. That's really physical. But with the NBA, a skill sport, it only makes sense to allow players to go out straight out of high school. I don't see what the holdup is, but you know.
All right.
It's the NBA. It's like any professional sport. They all, it's all about money in their eyes, and obviously it benefits them or it benefits the college, the college teams, because if in my eyes, the NBA is trying to help the NCAA, because if the best players in the country decide to go play NBA basketball, it hurts the college product. That's what I believe. And to me, if that's the case, these players in college should be paid. They should have the opportunity. Either that, or if they want to go for autograph signings, they should be allowed to make money off of that while they're in college and make some kind of gratuity as a college basketball player. That's just my opinion.
Correct. Right.